The squad car's siren wailed like a banshee through the quiet streets of Maplewood, New Jersey, as Hope slammed against the cold metal of the handcuffs biting into her wrists. "You think your daddy's some big-shot special forces hero? Kid, I've heard better fairy tales from drunks," the cop sneered, his breath hot with coffee and contempt, shoving her into the back seat while her heart shattered like glass under his mocking gaze. But as tears streamed down her face, Hope whispered through gritted teeth, "You'll see, he's coming for me," igniting a firestorm that would unravel secrets, betrayals, and a love that refused to break. Hope Thompson had always been the outlier in Maplewood, a sleepy suburb where picket fences hid more than they revealed. At 17, she navigated high school hallways like a battlefield, her backpack slung over one shoulder, hiding sketches of girls with flowing hair and eyes that sparkled like the Hudson River at sunset. Her father, Colonel Nami Thompson, was her anchor, a decorated Army Special Forces veteran who'd seen the deserts of Iraq and the mountains of Afghanistan. He raised her alone after her mother died in a car accident when Hope was 5, instilling in her a fierce independence wrapped in stories of valor and sacrifice. "Strength isn't in the fight, kiddo," he'd say, ruffling her hair. "It's in knowing when to stand tall." But standing tall came at a cost. Hope's secret bloomed in sophomore year when she met Joanna Reyes at art club. Joanna, with her olive skin, curly black hair, and a laugh that could melt winter snow, was everything Hope dreamed of. Joanna's family had moved from Puerto Rico to New Jersey for her father's job at a pharmaceutical plant, bringing with them a warmth that contrasted the Thompsons' stoic military precision. Their first kiss happened under the bleachers during a football game, fireworks exploding in the sky as their lips met, tentative, then urgent, a promise of something real in a world that often felt fake. The trouble started at the town's annual Pride event, a modest gathering in the community park that drew both supporters and protesters. Hope and Joanna, hand in hand, waved rainbow flags, chanting for equality amid a sea of colors. But when a group of rowdy locals hurled slurs and bottles, chaos erupted. Hope, defending Joanna from a shove, swung her fist, connecting with a protester's jaw. Sirens blared and Officer Mark Harlan, a burly cop with a reputation for rough handling, yanked her away. "Lesbian troublemaker, huh? Claiming your dad's some elite soldier? Spare me," he laughed, cuffing her as Joanna screamed protests from the crowd. At the station, the mockery intensified. Harlan leaned against the desk, arms crossed while processing her. "Special forces? Yeah, right. Your old man's probably flipping burgers somewhere. Girls like you, always making up stories to feel special." Hope's cheeks burned, but she held her ground. "Call him Colonel Nami Thompson. He'll vouch for me." The other officers chuckled, but Harlan dialed the number she recited, his smirk widening as the line rang. Meanwhile, Joanna paced outside the station, her phone buzzing with frantic texts from friends. She and Hope had been inseparable for a year, their love a quiet rebellion against the conservative undercurrents of Maplewood. Joanna's parents, devout Catholics, didn't know yet. Her mother would pray the rosary if she found out. Her father might disown her. But Hope's dad? He knew. Nami had caught them holding hands on the porch one evening and, after a long silence, pulled Hope into a hug. "Love who you love, kid. Just be safe." It was his blessing, simple and profound. As the minutes ticked by, Hope sat in the holding cell, replaying the day's events. The protest had been her idea, to show Joanna she was proud, unafraid. But now doubt crept in. What if her dad didn't come? What if Harlan was right and she was just a delusional teen? The door buzzed open and Harlan dragged her to the front. "Your colonel is on his way. This ought to be good." Nami arrived like a storm, uniform crisp, medals gleaming under the fluorescent lights. The station fell silent as he strode in, his presence commanding respect. "I'm Colonel Thompson. Release my daughter immediately." Harlan's face paled. "Sir," she assaulted. Nami cut him off. She defended herself. "And if you mock her again, you'll answer to me." The apology was swift, the charges dropped. But as they left, Nami whispered to Hope, "We need to talk about this Joanna girl. Properly." That night, at their modest ranch-style home, Nami cooked burgers on the grill while Hope and Joanna sat on the deck, fingers intertwined under the table. "I'm sorry for the scare," Hope murmured. Joanna kissed her cheek. "You were brave. That's why I love you." Nami joined them, his eyes softening. "Joanna, Welcome to the family. But times are tough. Be careful out there. Little did they know the real storm was brewing. One that would test loyalties and shatter hearts. The next weeks blurred into a haze of normalcy laced with tension. Hope and Joanna stole moments at school. Notes passed in class. Walks by the river where they dream of escaping to New York City, where love like theirs could flourish openly. But whispers spread. Harlan, humiliated, gossiped at the local diner, painting Hope as a spoiled brat hiding behind her dad's rank. Classmates turned cold. Even some friends distanced themselves. Then came the betrayal. Hope's best friend since childhood, Mia, who knew about her sexuality but swore secrecy, cracked under pressure. At a party fueled by cheap beer and pure taunts, Mia blurted, "Hope's dad isn't even her real dad. He adopted her after her mom died." Special forces? More like special lies. The rumor exploded on social media, twisting facts into venom. Hope woke to her phone flooded with hate, messages calling her a fraud, a dyke, a disgrace. Joanna stood by her, fierce and unyielding. "They're idiots. We know the truth." But the pain gnawed at Hope. Nami, sensing her turmoil, took her for a drive in his old Jeep. "Adoption doesn't make me less your dad. I chose you, Hope. That's stronger than blood." His words mended some fractures, but the damage was done. Mia's apology came too late, tearful, regretful, but Hope couldn't forgive. "You betrayed me when I needed you most." As summer faded into fall, Hope and Joanna's relationship deepened amid the chaos. They volunteered at a local LGBTQ center, helping others navigate coming out. Joanna shared stories of her abuela's tales from San Juan, weaving cultural threads into their bond. One evening under a canopy of stars, Joanna whispered, "I want a future with you, marriage, kids, the whole American dream." Hope's heart soared but fear lingered. What if society never accepted them? The high school homecoming dance became the flashpoint. Hope asked Joanna to be her date, defying the unspoken rules. They arrived in matching dresses, Hope in navy blue, Joanna in emerald green, turning heads. Whispers turned to stares, then to confrontation. A group of jocks, egged on by Harlan's nephew, cornered them. "Freaks don't belong here." Fists flew and Hope shielded Joanna, taking a punch to the ribs. Nami, chaperoning at the principal's request, intervened like a guardian angel. "Back off, boys, or face consequences." The night ended in suspensions, but the victory was bittersweet. Joanna nursed Hope's bruises at home, their tears mingling. "Why does loving you have to hurt so much?" Joanna sobbed. Hope held her close. "Because it's worth fighting for." The fallout from homecoming rippled through Maplewood like aftershocks from an earthquake. Hope's ribs ached for days, a constant reminder of the world's cruelty, but Joanna's gentle care, ice packs and soft kisses on her forehead, turned pain into something almost poetic. They spent afternoons in the Thompson basement, converted into a makeshift studio where Hope painted abstracts of swirling colors representing their love, while Joanna strummed her guitar, composing melodies that captured their resilience. "This one's called Unbreakable Us," Joanna said, her voice a soothing balm. Nami watched from afar, pride mixed with worry. He'd faced his own battles, PTSD from deployments that left him waking in sweats, dreaming of fallen comrades. But seeing Hope's spirit tested stirred something protective in him. He invited Joanna over more often, sharing war stories over dinner to build bridges. "In the field, trust is everything. You two have that." Joanna nodded, grateful for his acceptance, a stark contrast to her own family's silence. But shadows loomed. Joanna's parents, Maria and Carlos Reyes, grew suspicious. Late nights, evasive answers. Maria confronted her one evening in their cozy kitchen, the scent of Arri's candles filling the air. "Who's this Hope? A friend? Or more?" Joanna froze, heart pounding. "Mama, she's special to me." The confession unleashed a torrent. Carlos slammed his fist on the table. "No daughter of mine will live in sin. Think of your soul." Joanna fled to Hope's, tears streaming, collapsing into her arms. "They want me to choose them or you." Hope held her through the night, whispering assurances. "We'll face this together." Nami offered the guest room, his military discipline extending to emotional support. "Family isn't just blood, Joanna. You're welcome here." The temporary haven allowed their love to flourish, But the rift with the Reyes family deepened Joanna's isolation. She missed her siblings' laughter, her mother's hugs. Doubt crept in, was love worth losing everything? Meanwhile, the rumor mill churned. Mia, racked with guilt, tried to make amends by organizing a school assembly on tolerance. But her efforts backfired when Harlan's allies disrupted it, shouting slurs. Hope spoke up from the audience, voice steady. Hate doesn't win. Love does. The crowd split, applause from allies, boos from detractors. Joanna squeezed her hand backstage. You're my hero. As winter approached, a new conflict emerged. Nami received orders for a consulting gig in D.C., leaving for weeks. You'll be okay? He asked Hope. She nodded, but anxiety gnawed. Without his buffer, the town's prejudice intensified. One night, walking home from a movie, a car slowed, occupants yelling obscenities. Joanna pulled Hope close. Ignore them. But the fear lingered. In Nami's absence, Joanna's resolve wavered. A secret meeting with her parents, arranged by her aunt, turned manipulative. Come home, Mija. We'll get you help, Maria pleaded, mentioning conversion therapy pamphlets. Joanna resisted, but the emotional blackmail planted seeds of doubt. What if they're right? What if this is wrong? She confided in Hope during a snowy walk in the park. I love you, but my family. They're all I have. Hope's world tilted. You have me. Us. The argument escalated, words like daggers. You're choosing them over me? Hope accused. Joanna stormed off, leaving Hope alone in the flurry. Days of silence followed. Hope threw herself into art, painting stormy scenes of betrayal. When Joanna finally called, her voice broke. I can't lose you. I'm sorry. Reconciliation came in a heartfelt embrace on Hope's porch, but trust was fractured. Promise no more secrets, Hope demanded. Joanna nodded, but the seed of uncertainty remained. Christmas brought tentative peace. Nami returned bearing gifts, a rainbow keychain for Hope, a guitar-pick necklace for Joanna. The Reyes family extended an olive branch. A awkward dinner where tensions simmered but didn't boil over. Carlos grumbled, but Maria's eyes softened seeing Joanna's happiness. Perhaps. God loves all. Yet drama lurked. Mia, seeking redemption, confessed she'd been pressured by Harlan's nephew to spread the rumors. A bid for popularity. Hope confronted her. Why? Mia sobbed. I was scared. Jealous of your courage. Forgiveness came slowly, but it mended old wounds. As New Year's approached, Hope and Joanna dreamed bigger. Let's apply to colleges in New York, Joanna suggested. Start fresh. Their applications flew out, essays pouring out their story of love amid adversity. But fate twisted again. Joanna received a scholarship offer from a conservative college in Texas, pushed by her parents. It's full ride, she admitted. Hope's heart sank. You'd go without me? The argument reignited old fears. You're pulling away, Hope yelled. Joanna countered. I'm trying to build a future for us. In the heat, Joanna blurted. Maybe we need space. Hope recoiled, feeling betrayed anew. She ran to Nami. How do I fight for someone who might not fight back? Nami shared a story from his service. A comrade who'd betrayed the unit under torture, but redeemed himself later. People falter. Love gives second chances. Bolstered, Hope texted Joanna. Meet me at our spot. By the river under twinkling lights they reconciled. I'll turn it down, Joanna vowed. You're my home. But the high came with a crash. News broke. Harlan was under investigation for misconduct, sparked by Nami's complaint. The town divided, some hailing Hope as a whistleblower, others vilifying her. Threats arrived. An anonymous note on their door. Watch your back, freaks. Spring thawed the snow but not the chill in Maplewood's air. Hope and Joanna navigated the final months of senior year like soldiers in a minefield, their love a shield against escalating hostility. College acceptances rolled in, both to NYU. A beacon of hope in the concrete jungle. We're doing this, Hope said, pinning the letters to her wall. Joanna grinned, but her eyes held shadows from family pressures. Nami, sensing the strain, organized a family trip to the Jersey Shore. Salty air, boardwalk fries, and waves crashing provided respite. He watched the girls build sandcastles, laughing like kids. You two remind me why I fought, for freedom to love. Joanna confided in him about her parents. They're coming around slowly. Nami nodded. Change takes time. Like democracy. Back home, betrayal struck from an unexpected quarter. Joanna's cousin Luis, visiting from Puerto Rico, discovered their secret. Outraged by his conservative upbringing, he confronted Joanna. This is unnatural. I'll tell everyone. Joanna begged for mercy, but Luis leaked photos from her phone. Innocent shots of Hope and her kissing to social media. The post went viral in their circles, tagged with hateful captions. Hope's phone exploded with notifications. Classmates, teachers, even strangers weighed in. Disgusting. Brave. The divide deepened. Joanna, mortified, shut down. This is my fault. I should have been careful. Hope pulled her close. No, it's his. We'll fight back. Nami mobilized. He contacted the school, demanding action against cyberbullying. A meeting with the principal led to Luis's expulsion from the guest program, but the damage lingered. Joanna's parents exploded anew. See what this brings. Shame. Carlos yelled. Maria wept. Joanna, torn, spent nights at Hope's, but the emotional toll mounted. In the midst of turmoil, their romance found depth. Late-night talks revealed vulnerabilities, Hope's fear of abandonment from her mother's death, Joanna's guilt over cultural expectations. I want to honor my heritage and love you, Joanna said. Hope replied, you can do both. We'll create our own traditions. A school project on civil rights became their outlet. They presented on Stonewall, drawing parallels to their lives. The class applauded, but Harlan's allies protested outside. Indoctrination, they chanted. Hope stood firm at the window. This is America, land of the free. As prom neared, tension peaked. Joanna's parents forbade her attendance with Hope. Go with the boy or not at all. Defiant, Joanna snuck out, meeting Hope in a rented limo. They danced under disco lights, slow songs wrapping them in a bubble. This is our night, Hope whispered. But midway, Carlos arrived, furious, dragging Joanna away. You're grounded for good. Hope chased after, Nami in tow. Mr. Reyes, let's talk. The confrontation in the parking lot was raw. Carlos accused Nami of enabling sin. Nami countered. Love isn't sin. It's human. Maria intervened, tears flowing. I just want her happy. Joanna broke free, standing with Hope. I am happy with her. The standoff ended in uneasy truce, but Joanna moved in with the Thompsons temporarily. Freedom came with isolation. Her siblings stopped calling. Depression set in. Am I worth this pain? She asked Hope. Every bit, Hope assured. Planning surprise picnics and stargazing to lift spirits. Then the ultimate betrayal. Mia, redeemed but fragile, confessed she'd anonymously tipped Luis about the photos, jealousy resurfacing. I thought if you broke up, things would go back to normal. Hope's rage boiled. Normal? Your hate destroyed that. Mia left town shunned. Nami's health scare added drama. Chest pains during a jog sent him to the ER, stress-induced, doctors said. Hope blamed the town's toxicity. We need to leave. Joanna agreed, accelerating NYU plans. Summer brought climax. A community forum on LGBTQ rights, sparked by their story, drew crowds. Hope and Joanna spoke, sharing their journey. Harlan, facing suspension, heckled. Special Forces brat thinks she's special. Nami rose. She is. And so is every kid fighting for love. The crowd cheered, shifting tides. But personal storms raged. Joanna, pressured, briefly considered her parents' ultimatum. Therapy or disownment. She met a counselor secretly, emerging conflicted. They say it's a phase. Hope, discovering the appointment, felt stabbed. You doubt us. The fight was epic. Accusations of weakness, fears voiced. Joanna stormed out, seeking solace at home. Days of agony followed. Hope painted furiously, canvases of broken hearts. Nami counseled patience. Love tests us. Joanna returned, apologetic. I was scared. But you're my truth. Reconciliation sealed with a promise ring. Simple silver bands engraved, unbreakable. As graduation loomed, resolution dawned. The Reyes family attended, Carlos stiff but present. In his speech, the principal praised Hope and Joanna's courage. Diplomas in hand, they kissed on stage, defiant, joyous. The audience split, but applause drowned boos. Post-graduation euphoria carried Hope and Joanna into summer jobs. Hope at an art gallery, Joanna at a music store, saving for NYU dorms. Their days blended work with stolen beach trips, where they'd trace futures in the sand. Broadway shows, Central Park picnics, Joanna dreamed. Hope added, our own apartment, no hiding. But undercurrents pulled. Harlan's investigation concluded with his firing, but he didn't go quietly. Anonymous harassment escalated. Slashed tires on Nami's Jeep, graffiti on their house. Freaks out. Nami installed cameras, his special forces instincts kicking in. We're not backing down. Joanna's reconciliation with her family progressed unevenly. Weekly dinners at the Reyes home mixed awkward silences with breakthroughs. Maria shared photos of Joanna as a child, softening. Carlos grumbled less, even asking about NYU. Proud of your grades, he admitted gruffly. Joanna beamed, bridging worlds. Yet, internal conflicts simmered. Hope struggled with trust after the therapy incident. Nightmares of abandonment woke her, clinging to Joanna. Promise you'll stay, Joanna reassured, but her own doubts resurfaced during a family trip to Puerto Rico. Without Hope, immersed in culture, relatives' judgments echoed. Find a nice boy. Joanna called Hope daily, but distance amplified fears. Upon return, a surprise party awaited. Nami and the Reyes collaborating. Balloons, cake, a tentative alliance. But during toasts, Carlos pulled Joanna aside. Think about your future. This phase might pass. Joanna snapped. It's not a phase. I love her. The outburst cleared air, Carlos backing down. If she makes you happy. As move-in day neared, a major clash erupted. Hope discovered Joanna had applied for a scholarship deferral. Tempted by her parents' offer to fund if she reconsidered. What the hell? Hope confronted. Joanna defended. It's practical. Money's tight. Betrayal stung. You're negotiating our love? The argument peaked with Joanna leaving in tears. Nami mediated. Talk it out. Like in the field, communication saves lives. Hope reflected on her growth. From defiant teen to empathetic partner. She found Joanna at the river. I get the fear. But we choose us. Joanna confessed. I'm terrified of failing you. They forgave, burning the deferral letter symbolically. The move to New York was a whirlwind, boxes packed, goodbyes tearful. Nami drove them, pride swelling. Call anytime. The Reyes waved, Maria hugging tightly. Be safe, Mija. NYU's campus buzzed with diversity. A far cry from Maplewood. Dorm life brought freedom. Holding hands publicly, joining queer clubs. Their love deepened, arguments rarer, intimacy emotional and pure. But drama followed. A campus protest against discrimination drew them in. Echoing homecoming, counter-protesters clashed. Hope shielded Joanna again, earning a black eye. News spread, Nami calling worried. Old habits. Joanna nursed her, whispering, my protector. Thanksgiving tested bonds. They hosted a blended dinner in their tiny dorm. Nami, the Reyes, even Mia via video, forgiven at last. Tensions arose over politics, but laughter prevailed. Carlos raised a glass. To family, however it looks. Winter break brought reflection. Back in Maplewood, they volunteered at the LGBTQ Center, mentoring youth. One teen mirroring Hope's story shared fears. My parents mocked me. Hope advised, stand tall. Love wins. As spring semester began, a health scare hit Joanna. Appendicitis, rushing her to surgery. Hope waited anxiously, Nami flying in. She's strong, he said. Recovery bonded them further, Joanna proposing informally. Marry me someday? Hope laughed through tears. Yes. Gradual acceptance from the Reyes culminated in Carlos's apology. I was wrong. Your happiness matters. Maria baked empanadas for their visits. But life's cruelty struck. Nami suffered a heart attack, years of stress catching up. Hospital vigils united families. He recovered, but it humanized him. Don't waste time on hate, he told Hope. Their second year brought professional highs. Hope's art exhibited, Joanna's band gigging. Personal lows. A roommate's bigotry forced a move. They persevered, loved their anchor. A betrayal from within. Joanna's old flame from Puerto Rico messaged, stirring jealousy. Just friends, she insisted. Hope trusted, but it tested them. Communication prevailed. As junior year loomed, they planned a road trip, cross-country, embracing America's vastness. From Jersey shores to California dreams, symbolizing their journey. The road trip became legend in their lore. 2 weeks of highways, motels, and discoveries. Starting in New York, they drove west, stopping at landmarks. Liberty Bell in Philly, echoing freedom. Grand Canyon vast as their love. In San Francisco, they marched in pride, flags waving, feeling truly seen. "This is us, unapologetic," Joanna said, kissing hope under rainbow arches. Challenges arose. A flat tire in the Midwest testing patience. Arguments over directions mirroring life's detours. But each resolved with deeper understanding. In a Nebraska diner, locals stared, but they held hands defiantly. "Remember Harlan?" Hope joked. Joanna laughed. "We've come far." Back at NYU, senior year flew. Theses, internships, Hope in graphic design, Joanna in music production. Their story inspired a campus play. Anonymized but resonant. Friends envied their bond, forged in fire. Nami's retirement brought him to New York visits, bonding over Mets games. The Reyes followed, Carlos softening to urban life. A joint vacation to Puerto Rico healed wounds. Hope embraced his family, learning Spanish phrases, dancing salsa. But climax came unexpectedly. Harlan, post-firing, sued the town for wrongful termination, dragging Hope's name. Media frenzy ensued. Interviews, scrutiny. "Reliving the mockery," Hope confided. Joanna supported. "We'll testify." Truth prevails. The trial in New Jersey was dramatic. Harlan sneered on stand, repeating old taunts. Nami testified, medals on display. "My daughter claimed nothing false. She's braver than you." Hope spoke eloquently. "Love isn't a crime. Prejudice is." Joanna added, "Our story is America's struggle to acceptance." The jury ruled against Harlan, vindicating them. Cheers erupted, apologies flowed. Mia, now an ally, covered the story for a local paper. Post-trial, peace settled. Graduations capped triumphs, diplomas, cheers, families united. Hope proposed properly on the Brooklyn Bridge. Ring glinting in sunset. "Forever." Joanna accepted, tears joyful. Jobs followed. Hope at a Manhattan ad firm, Joanna scoring indie films. They rented a Brooklyn apartment, cozy theirs. Weddings planned modestly, blending cultures. Military honors, Puerto Rican feasts. Years blurred, but love endured. They adopted a daughter, Lily, raising her with stories of resilience. Nami doted as grandpa. The Reyes spoiled her with traditions. Reflecting on that fateful arrest, Hope mused, "One mockery sparked our revolution." Joanna agreed. "And look at us, victorious." In Maplewood visits, they walked proudly, inspiring change. The town evolved, pride events grew, Harlan forgotten. Their tale, whispered in queer circles, embodied hope. From betrayal to belonging, drama to depth, romance to reality. In America's tapestry, their thread shone bright, human, heartfelt, unbreakable.